All right, good to see you. Happy New Year, guys.
Mhm.
It
You too.
is December 30th, 2024. I probably should add, and we're getting to the end of a year. I hope you're having, well, I'll tell you, I just hope you're feeling as great and as blessed and joyous as I am today. And, it's time for a new year and reflection a bit. And one of the things that I'm I've been reflecting on is how much A Course in Miracles has changed me and changed how I see things, just like it said it would.
Mhm.
And I never imagined that something could so eloquently, exquisitely help me see things differently. It's been a kind journey, a gentle journey, not so much in the sense that it hasn't had ups and downs, but how it's taught me to participate and respect it, but don't give it more than that. It is a respectful allusion for a good purpose.
Don't give what more than that? I'm not following you.
Give level two its due,
Okay.
but no more than that. Participate because it's for your good. I mean, do you know how many things that covers?
Yeah.
Would you
Every
say everything?
yes.
And so, with that kind of lead up, I put on the agenda tonight something that says, like, our vision for the new year. Do you see it on the agenda?
Mhm.
Uh, I thought maybe it would be interesting as experienced A Course in Miracles students. Let's spend a few minutes, since it is New Year's time and that, kind of reflecting on what we would like to see in the new year or beyond, whether it's for you personally or America or the world. Uh, what would be your choice? We're so, my background's in healthcare administration, and part of that is management training. And we were taught to visualize, to plan, to organize, to follow up in the feedback loop, to collect data. Okay. to make what you want to happen happen. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
These are how professionals are trained. I mean, in general. And so I grew up in that environment and I really believed it. And so for years I was doing like vision boards, goal lists, affirmations. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's the teaching of the course. I think ultimately there's some that are more fundamental. And so I can share my thoughts, but I just wondered what y'all might have to say on the uh, kind of our vision for the new year from a Course in Miracles perspective. Is that deep enough for you?
Yes.
So, as a Course in Miracles student, what would you like to see?
Right now, I'm focusing on self-development because I think that's really the um, ground for, or the foundation for anything that we can promote in the way of good in the world on a local or a larger basis. Because it all boils down to how well do we function as individuals amongst other individuals, and what we determine we can do with the overall workings of the universe. We are all part of it.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. From now here again, what I'm trying to offer or get you guys to see is correlation. One of the things I want to talk about is correlation, for example, between what Sherilyn said about focusing on self improvement uh, is, oh God, it just left me. That's terrible. Oh
It'll come back.
no. The sole responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept or do this for themselves. So, who do I have to work on? Well, let me give you the rest of the perspective in terms of synchronicity and why I'm here trying to talk to you all about this. I'm really interested in your opinion. My I have two daughters. The younger one lives here in Michigan, and she's having this thing like on Zoom or some platform on New Year's Eve, right? And she's doing like vision boards, like a family vision board thing, right? So I'm a good dad, count me in. She says, okay, I'll be on around 10 o'clock New Year's Eve, and whoever wants to join us can join. So, uh, plus she sent me some materials to do a vision board, right? So I said, okay, let me be a good dad and participate and get started on my board. And so I've spent several hours, not well, no, some time trying to figure out, okay, how do I approach this? I should know how to do stuff like this. I grew up on doing things like this. So, how do I make statements about what I want to see in 2025 or beyond or whatever, in the future? And here's the thing, here's what's happened. I don't have any.
Okay.
Now
Mhm.
that's deep.
Yeah.
Wait, D, you're muted. Turn yourself.
You don't have any what?
I don't have a vision or a goal. My only goal is to participate
What's wrong with that? That's a
with
goal.
a smile on my face.
That
Yes?
sounds like a goal.
That sounds
Or
like a,
Sounds like willingness.
yeah.
Does it
It's an
sound,
important thing.
does it sound, Debbie, what?
Well, when you were talking, I mean, it sounds like kind of what I was thinking of. So we'll throw this out there and see if we're on the same wavelength. We know that's never happened before, that we would be on the same wavelength. Anyway, but when you were talking about goals and visions and all of this, and it's like mine anymore, the only thing I need to focus on is staying connected with spirit.
Yes.
Do you see how that's the same as surrender?
Yeah, and then that led me to the second word that came up for me, which was kindness, which means that I can express that in my world with kindness and realize that there are others that in my life who maybe don't see that, who don't feel connected.
And why can you legitimately express only kindness? Because you now believe the outcome is good.
Absolutely. And love is what we need here.
You can't be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a very carefree journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see, okay, carefree, happy, joyous all the time, no matter what. No matter what, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this is true, and that is the road to success, not only will it be successful, but you didn't suffer.
Right.
Yes.
And it saves a lot of paper, you know?
It saves a lot of work.
And all
Yes.
that.
It becomes the easy way.
Right.
Now, when you say, oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, because it has all of these side benefits of happiness. So what do I need to do to achieve that for my sole responsibility to accept the atonement? Is let it be done for me. And I think what it teaches is always be one way, no matter what. Now, I didn't say what your particular responses will be in a certain situation, but I do believe that there are alternatives to the ones we've been taught. Your response to a brother who attacks you may be where you want to remove yourself from being attacked. But I'm learning that that move maintains wholeness better than adversarial moves like attacking them back promotes separation, right?
Mhm.
So why would you get out of a situation that took a lot of effort and hostility and attack back sorts of things when you could have worked the situation out in a much more gentle way, an easier way? So talk to me. Am I confusing you?
I just experienced something like that when a friend of mine was very, very upset with me and some other friends, and I was very upset with her because she actually um, threw a temper tantrum. And I thought for a long time about what to do with it. And all I felt inside was, I just don't want to say anything, good, bad, anything at all. I just will let it be. And after some time, we came face to face in the dining room, and she said, I want to apologize to you. And it just seemed like it was the right time and the right thing, and it felt good, and I didn't have any animosity about it, you know, toward her. I simply said, thank you.
Did you move back from your computer screen? Your volume went down a bit
Oh, sorry. Well,
better. But yeah,
okay.
we heard what you said. And at first you think okay, it just happened once. But when you see the better outcomes of those choices
Mhm.
than the ones you maybe used to would have made.
One of the things that I could have done after she apologized was, well, it's about time, or I really think you should do thus and so, or why didn't you, blah, blah, blah,
Right. You
And
didn't escalate
no, I just,
because
okay,
it
I appreciate
promotes
that.
separation.
Exactly.
And that's not going to be good for you or them. You do it unknowingly when you attack. Separation brings misery to the whole.
Of course.
Regardless, it's a principle. It's a universal, it's like science.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. And in
It
this
happened,
instance,
okay?
it really proved to be the right thing. And
So extrapolate this to everyone.
right, everybody.
Our power is centered in our wholeness. We do a disservice to the universe when we do those insane responses to power that we've been taught. We unknowingly create separation, chaos, which if that's all we could do, okay. But what we're saying is there's another way of dealing with life situations.
You do have options.
I will show you if you get out of the old way. You have to let those go. And it's a reciprocal relationship. The more you let them go on all levels, the faster the rush of this new guidance comes in. And the result is an exhilaration, a happiness in all situations, knowing there's this thing available that knows how to take care of all of them. So, what is there for you to do? Smile. That's how the course has changed me. It's offered
Me
a
too.
whole new strategy to living every moment.
I'm learning. I'm still kind of new for me, but I'm learning. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and I can see you see little. These are called miracles.
mhm.
When the new responses work better than the old ones. How am I doing here?
Well, it sure sounds like you started off saying you don't have anything. It sure sounds like you do.
Well, I don't have anything with a big scope, but
Yeah,
I feel like you have to start at the base, at the foundation of things, and that's the only way we can work. We aren't big enough, powerful enough on our own to do near big things, but we can start with the little ones and work our way up.
well, and the other thing though is I want me, what I'm recognizing is don't just turn the big things over to it.
No, every little thing.
The little things over so it can work freely
Mhm.
because it has to work using level 2 activity. So, do you see why that nuance? All I'm saying here, let go of everything. Yeah.
And I was, okay, I think we're all one.
Mhm.
All the things are one. Our little petty grievances are part of the one, the whole, you
Yeah.
know?
And there are these little fractures
Mm-hmm.
that we've been taught to constantly send out, not realizing that our little part is
Is to,
a microcosm
mm-hmm,
of what we're contributing to, isn't it?
mm-hmm, right. So what are we contributing then? What are we doing with those little
So if the
grievances?
direction is wholeness,
Mm-hmm.
do everything you can to maintain or enhance wholeness in every activity you do here.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be not only good for you, but just think of how friggin' amazed all your friends will be to see somebody that's always nice. Define nice, loving. And loving isn't weak. So don't misconstrue what I mean by nice. Loving is true, it's honest, it's strong, it knows what it is, it's confident, and it can be a peacemaker because it's always at peace. Simple?
So doesn't that have to do with your, your project for over the next couple of years?
Now, here's the thing. See, I do the agendas, I send them on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
So Spirit said, hey, that's a good icebreaker thing before we get into our study. And then yesterday evening, these supplies arrived from my daughter. And I love her. I'm going to participate. They don't know anything about A Course in Miracles, right?
Right.
But the soul searching I went through about what I'm going to put said, your vision for the future. Here, let me see if I can do the quote. The healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans given it through a wisdom not its own. I've been trying that, and my commitment is to just full board go into it for the future. Oh Lord, lesson 194. I place the future in the hands of God. So what does that mean? I'm supposed to do all these charts and lists and boards? So I'm gonna,
Oh, only if you want to, I guess is the
well,
answer.
in all sincerity, what going through the last 24 hours is I'm gonna take care of my daughter, but the soul searching
Is for you.
me more honesty I can share with you guys as course students.
Right.
So the topic turned into more than the half hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I just wanted to point it out. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like when the words come out of my mouth, they make it sound so simple. But practicing it isn't always
No, that's
so
true.
simple. It makes it sound like, yeah, we're all walking around here like with these
Let
little
me
handles over our heads.
wait a minute. Hold on. Here we go. Anybody have the agenda with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quote from the top.
The contradictory nature of the witnesses you perceive is merely the reflection of your conflicting invitations.
Mhm.
And so that means you're still inviting two voices. You're
Mhm.
still giving them legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
It gets complicated because you keep getting bumped this way. Okay, you don't realize we're talking 24/7.
Right.
So how many opportunities are there for decisions? Do you see the extent of this surrender?
Mm.
It means I don't do anything. I follow whatever comes into my mind from this mysterious voice. It's like ghost stories or something to us.
Mhm. Which I guess means I gotta leave a space for that voice to come in.
And I'll close here. I need to.
Yeah.
I become aware of a voice that will, if you don't do anything, it'll tell you when to get up, when to sit down, when to open your eyes, when to close your eyes, when to make a phone call. Okay, when to receive a friggin' phone call. Okay, what makes this person call you at this time? Well, they're a telemarketer. Or, well, how it gets complicated. But what I'm suggesting, if there are really no coincidences, how could it be a coincidence? What the hell is running that? This is what we're invited to take a look at and see if it's good. All right, a good place to stop. Already went too long, but you can't say we don't get into some interesting talks on ACIM Talks, right?
Yes.
All right. Why don't we move into our formal activities? We are tonight, I believe it's section 7
Yes.
of, oh my goodness, I got the book here. Oh,
Section 6, paragraph 7.
all right, let's get Kathleen in here.
Oh, good. Okay.
I get the right book here.
Okay.
You know, let's see. Hey, Kathleen.
Hey, sorry, I fell asleep.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
And I just woke up and I went, oh my God.
Oh,
No
can
problem.
I ask her my question then? That what we were talking about before? Is it okay if I ask her?
Go ahead.
Kathleen, do you go to a Unity church? Is that correct?
I don't, I go to a Unity group now, the Unity Church. Yeah, I have been going to Unity Church.
Okay. The question is, do you have a program for children there? That's the question.
Oh, okay.
So,
When our church dissolved, but
Oh, okay.
when we were a Unity Church, we did.
Okay.
And
But right now, yeah, okay.
we had like 2 or 3 children, but we still had a every Sunday.
Okay.
ours, our church, our Unity Church, had a very active Sunday school youth programs. And but since the pandemic, we haven't sponsored programs like that.
Uh-huh.
At any rate, that's what we were talking about. What
Yeah,
was
that's
it?
why.
Pre-recording or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm glad you're here, Kathleen. Can
Oh,
you
thank
join us?
And where
Thank
we,
you for your input. I
oh,
appreciate
you're welcome.
Yeah,
it.
this is our last meeting for 2024. We just finished a discussion about our vision for 2025 or the future. But I'll tell you, my friend, you're here just in time for us to get back into our Oracle text reading,
Okay.
the Holy Spirit's curriculum. And again, this is group 2. So we've got 3 more chapters to do to complete the 5 chapters that the Holy Spirit gave us in August, was it, of 2023.
Okay.
Time marches on, right?
So, and what page are we on?
We are on page 231. No, is that right?
Well,
Yes.
there's
Yeah, 1230. So
next,
it's paragraph 7 I had.
well, that's on 233, 231, but you have
Did I say,
paragraph
yeah,
6.
231? I'm sorry, the section starts on 229, and we were up to paragraph 7. This section is called Looking Within.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So let's do our readers. Sherilyn, there'll be 1. Debbie 2. Dee is 3. Joan 4 and Kathleen 5.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Now, do you want to start with section 7 that is on?
At paragraph, no. Section Romans 7, but we're on
Right.
paragraph 7.
Okay,
All right.
which is on 231.
Yes.
Paragraph 7. I said before that what you project or extend is up to you, but you must do one or the other, for that is a law of mind, and you must look in before you look out. As you look in, you choose the guide for seeing, and then you look out and behold his witnesses. This is why you find what you seek. What you want in yourself, you will make manifest, and you will accept it from the world because you put it there by wanting it. When you think you are projecting what you do not want, it is still because you do want it. This leads directly to dissociation, for it represents the acceptance of two goals, each perceived in a different place, separated from each other because you made them different. The mind then sees a divided world outside itself, but not within. This gives it an illusion of integrity and enables it to believe that it is pursuing one goal. Yet, as long as you perceive the world as split, you are not healed. For to be healed is to pursue one goal, because you have accepted only one and want but one.
Okay. Can we read some more? And then we'll discuss it. Debbie?
Okay. When you want only love, you will see nothing else. The contradictory nature of the witnesses you perceive is merely the reflection of your conflicting invitations. You have looked upon your mind and accepted opposition there, having sought it there. But do not then believe that the witnesses for opposition are true, for they attest only to your decision about reality, returning to you the messages you gave them. Love, too, is recognized by its messengers. If you make love manifest, its messengers will come to you because you invited them.
Interesting stuff. Your comments. Let's start on paragraph 7. Okay, paragraph 8. Anything?
Wait, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, either.
Well, I was thinking that this is kind of like what we were talking about before, and you mentioned the quote, the contradictory nature of the witnesses. It's like, if we're making it two, that's because we're confused.
Yes.
We need to work that out. So, and I probably didn't say that very well, but I think you get the point. We need to reflect on that. Is that really
A paradox to us, although it makes simple sense for powerful beings, is that everything I see on the outside is coming from me. You say, well, how can that be? Because you're powerful beings. You're co-creators. What does that mean, co-create, to you? Does it sound like a powerful title?
Yeah. it's because we want it, was the big point they made in paragraph
All you
7.
had to do was want it.
Yeah,
That is how the power becomes active. You think it's for your good. Now, whether it is for your good or not, the power invokes by wanting it. So, to summarize, do you see why the tiny mad idea that what you could want could be in opposition to what the whole wants starts sending out fractures? Question. Puzzled.
it also says, when in sentence 6, when you think you are projecting what you do not want, it is still because you do want it. So whether we want it or not, it's what we want. Whether we realize that we want it or not, it is what we want.
And isn't that the fundamental dilemma? That if you could choose anything you wanted, what makes you think you'd make a good choice?
Mhm.
It's what's the word? It's like a double-edged sword. Because who endowed you with all the right decisions? And what kind of ego would it be to simply assume you know what's best for you? And each person has that burden individually. A free gift can be freely used. Stop using it to bite us in the butt. There are certain universal principles that govern reality. They're universal because they govern everything.
It's almost if you have to stop thinking, because when you think, you create. When you create, you separate.
Unless you know how to devote your thinking to wholeness.
Right.
When you recognize somebody else's interest besides your own, when you see the value of one for all, you'll see why this other pitiful stuff could never work,
Well,
because it takes away the synergistic power innate in oneness.
and when comparison starts to come into your mind, then you know you're definitely in the wrong place.
So, how nuanced is that to remember every day?
That's the trick.
There's big stuff that you think you can work on, but little stuff has the same effect as the big stuff. Which one is not separation? A big separation or a little separation? These are differences that we've been taught that do not make a difference. So what I'm learning is you have to allow your lifestyle to be built for you under a new foundation. Now, how do you make room for that? Remember, it's reciprocal. The more I forgive the other and let it go, the more space I make room for the new one. It's a simple principle of respecting your free will. So that phrase that says, who was it that just read it, right? The paragraph 8, sentence 2, the contradictory nature of the witnesses you perceive is merely the reflection that I'm not doing it right yet. And doing it right is doing it wholly. But what are the benefits of being committed and serving one master instead of two? Would it be easier, theoretically?
Yes.
How about more peaceful?
How about more consistently happy? Simply because you made a decision not to see unhappiness as a combating force. It's
Or
the
not-
result of the illusion that you can be by yourself. That's the lesson. Dee, go ahead.
To me, it's I made the decision that it's my unhappiness is not coming from you or a situation. It's not coming from out there.
Right. Exactly.
So the more you test that theory out, how well we've learned the old one, right?
It's just as consistent, the new one.
We've gone, as the Course says, we've gone to great lengths to try and learn what is not true. So you have the capacity to learn. It's what do you want to learn? There is an entirely new way of approaching this stuff that this maintains is at least as good as the stuff that ain't working. Try it. You say, well, I don't know, it sounds so mystical. Oh, I know, but how long have you heard about spiritual masters and the wisdom of the ages and the demonstration of Jesus, that the things that we've been taught? No disrespect, whatever happened, they're not true. So all we have to do is stop doing them.
Yeah.
But the key word is, because of the separation, we have to say we. And the strategy for doing this is not through proselytizing, evangelizing, preaching to others, but the primary way of doing this is what?
Let go and let God.
Okay, let me rephrase then. The primary way of doing this, the primary way of teaching this is what?
Forgiveness?
More practical.
It's just demonstrating.
Example.
Demonstrating
Okay.
the soul responsibility of the miracle worker is to let this be done for them. And when you see the results, it will benefit you and everyone who's observing your demonstration.
So for me, and this just came into my mind, is it's not about going and learning the lesson, it's about remembering the lesson.
Mm.
And it is remembering, but the remembering is as easy as opening a channel.
Mm-hmm.
The channel never ended, it was just covered over. It's a
Exactly.
communication that's there for the good, for
Yep.
the purpose. And I have to learn to stop being a Jim, but simply a vehicle for that purpose.
So the
So,
word that,
go ahead, dear.
I'm sorry, the next word that's coming into my mind is, well, maybe you just need to allow.
Yeah.
Allow without interpretation.
Okay, and it'll be done for you, and you'll see it. Okay, it's not pie in the sky by and by, it's merely reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're trying to say to you is yes, you can be loving no matter what. Yes, there is a different response. Yes, attack in any form is never justified. If you will allow me, I can show you a better way to handle things, a way that's better for you, that's better for them. And because we're all related, better for everyone.
And the word that coming to my mind is willingness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Mhm.
that asking you to give up a lot?
It seems it to the ego, but you're giving up nothing,
Yes.
really.
Right. Yeah.
And so when you say, well, it's hard,
No.
Hmm.
no, it's an example of you doing what we're talking about needs to be resolved.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard. Like I said, I think
It's
if my
different.
willingness is there, it's not hard at all. I just have to be willing to
Yes.
let go of everything that
And
I think that I
when
know
it's
that's
not there, as he's saying, don't be fooled. The reason it doesn't appear there is not because it's not there, it's because of your unwillingness. And I'll close here at the end of paragraph 8, sentence 6. No, sentence 5. Love too is recognized by its messengers. If you make love manifest, its messengers will come to you because you invited them. So if I'm not seeing messengers of love, it's not it's because I'm not inviting them. You say, well, how can I invite them? And he
Be
said,
loving.
here, let me show you how.
Mhm.
Because your knowing how has been tainted. Let me show you how to see what you want to see instead of what you've been deceived into seeing. Well, we did 2 paragraphs, but
great.
we did cover some other stuff, right?
Right.
Perfect.
All right. Is this a good way to close this year out?
Sure is.
It
With
sure
deep-
is.
Yeah, deep gratitude for you doing this. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes. Mhm.
Talking about win-wins, I gave this over to Holy Spirit over almost 2 years ago. Start this little show. And yeah, well, what's it about? What do I do and what I say? And then the voice says, set up a Zoom thing and do what I tell you. And now it's almost 2 years later. And to see the messengers of love on this screen is evidence, proof. Listen to me and do what I tell you instead of what you think you should do. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans given it through a wisdom not its own. Ooh, a ghost. Whatever you want to call it, there's something there. Don't you feel it?
Mhm.
I wish you a good rest of your week, and thank you for allowing me to spend some time, okay?
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year, everyone.
Happy New
Thank you,
Year,
Jen.
everybody.
Happy New Year,
Yeah,
everybody.
see you
I will see
next
you
week.
all next year.
Yep, yep,
About
yep.
Next
that.
year.
Love
Yeah.
you. Take
Love
care.
you all. Namaste.
Bye.
Namaste.
Stay.
Namaste.